2025 has been and gone, and I thought I might look back at some of the hobby electronics projects from this year I'm most proud of. So I've picked the top 3 projects. Some you've had glimpses of, and others that are awaiting a video of their own. Stick with me to see what I got up to in 2025, and why I'm proud of each of them, even the simple ones. In number 3 spot for 2025 is my USB to TTL serial adapter jig project. I built it to connect a faulty ESP32 board from AliExpress. I made a video about this. The ESP32's built-in USB chip was either missing or faulty, so I built this jig to bypass it. The red circuit board is a TTL serial adapter that reads the serial data from the computer and transmits it back and forth to the ESP32. Basically the same job as the damaged built-in USB chip. The 3.3 volt power and ground comes in from the TTL board on one side of the rig, and the TX and RX data lines connect to pins 20 and 21 of the ESP32. Building it as a self-contained jig like this means I'm ready if there are any similar damaged boards in the batch I bought from AliExpress. None so far, but I'm ready if there is. With the busted ESP32 in place in the jig, I can now see it in Arduino IDE and upload a sketch. You can see the lights on the TTL board showing the data passing through it between the ESP board and the computer. Once the sketch is uploaded, a manual reset reboots the ESP32 and it will now function normally. It will run the uploaded sketch like any other ESP32. The serial adapter isn't required again unless I want to upload a different sketch. I'm counting this as a win. This project was an interesting technical challenge to find the fault with the ESP32 board and discover that TTL serial adapter boards existed. Not a complex project, but I learned something new and I've ended up with a useful tool I'm proud to have made myself that solves a real-world problem. That earns this project 2025's number 3 spot. Project number 2 on my list is a sensor project. I've used DHT11 and DHT22 temperature sensors before, but I found a new type on AliExpress, the BME280. This sensor reads temperature, but also relative humidity and barometric pressure. It's available in 3.3 and 5 volt versions. I ordered a 5 volt one. The BME280 module offers I2C and SPI interfaces. I wired it for I2C, which uses the VCC and ground pins for power, and an SDA data pin and SCL clock pin for transmitting data. I soldered the output pins to the board myself. Learning to solder is still a work in progress, but it works okay, even if it isn't pretty. One of my 2025 lessons is use flux when soldering. It was easy to connect this cute little sensor to an Arduino Nano board and get the temperature out to the serial monitor, but I'd also just impulse bought myself a 0.96 inch OLED display from AliExpress. Maybe I could get the data to display on that. Turns out I could. The OLED display is I2C as well. You can see the VCC, ground, SCL and SDA pins on the board. The BME280 was already using those pins on the Arduino, but that isn't a problem. I2C devices have unique identifiers, so the Arduino board can handle multiple devices connected via the same pins without getting its data in a tangle. How cool is that? The code to get it to display stuff was pretty simple, and an hour or so with ChatGPT helped me tidy up the formatting so it looks nice too. None of this was complicated, but it tied 2 different experiments, the sensor input and the display output, into a usable project. It built up a piece at a time, each step adding new functionality until it turned into something useful. That's how I like to work. Again, this project taught me a lot, and ended up being useful. That earns its place at number 2 on my list for 2025. Unfortunately, it also leads to the 2025 In Memoriam segment of this video. Not everyone made it to 2026, so I'd just like to take a moment to remember our fallen friend Arduino Nano, who tragically released his magical blue smoke in the project I did after this one. It was a short life, buddy, taken too soon, but you were worth the $3 from AliExpress, and I really missed you, until your replacement arrived. Rest in peace, remembering you taught me a valuable lesson about incautious probing with a multimeter while a project is powered on. Before we go to the top project of 2025, I'd like to include an honourable mention. This goes to my WLED party light strip project. This project was Frankensteined out of a 1 metre LED strip, a section of aluminium diffuser, and an ESP32 with the WLED software on it. WLED is a free ESP32 install that allows you to control LEDs via a phone app. This knocked together at the last minute strip was mounted on the patio for New Year's Eve to be a firework. But I also made it accessible to partygoers who could connect to it with their phones and change the light pattern as they liked. It's still a work in progress. It could do with a project box for all the gubbins for a start, but it proved popular and I should really finish it properly, or develop it further. I'm a simple man and I like flashing lights. If you'd like to see a video about this side project, give a shout out in the comments. But now for the big reveal. My #1 hobby electronics project for 2025. The one I'm most proud of. It's my NTP clock with LCD display. If you've seen my ESP32 rescue video, you'll have seen this. Why is this #1? It's just a clock with an LCD, right? Mostly because it's my own take on the project. I looked at examples that used a real-time clock module to handle the timing, and others that used an NTP time server to get the time from the internet by pinging a time server every second. But ESP32 has a built-in real-time clock, and having your clock ping the internet every second wastes bandwidth. My code connects to Wi-Fi and pings the Australian NTP time server once at startup, then hands that initial time off to the real-time clock in the ESP32 and logs off. There are trade-offs. It only runs when powered. If you unplug the USB, the clock dies. External RTC modules usually include a button battery to hold the time until it's powered on again. The second is the Wi-Fi configuration is set in the code. It can only connect to the Wi-Fi it's initially configured for. If you take it somewhere else, it will fail to connect. It's also pretty big. I'm working on a miniaturized version using a smaller ESP32 board, but that version needs a 3.3 volt LCD screen, which is on its way. As an aside, the full-size ESP32 boards don't fit well into standard breadboards. I fixed this by cutting a breadboard in half and then sticking it to a baseboard to widen it. The centre section of the breadboard is just plastic, so there's no metal contacts to worry about when making the cut. You can also remove the power rails on one side of the breadboard if you need to widen the breadboard more to access even more pins. These side power rails are modular and just snap out. You probably only need one. To hold the clock project together, I bought an acrylic stand designed for the LCD 1602 display. Unfortunately, the LCD I used had built-in I2C pins, not a backpack, so I had to trim back one of the acrylic side panels a bit to access the pins. Easy enough with a file, patience, and some care. I think this is my favourite project of 2025 because I solved a number of problems myself. Some were physical. I modified the breadboard and the acrylic case to accommodate my needs. Simple enough, but interesting modifications. Fun with hacksaws and files, and a bit of swearing at times. Plus I researched and understood the code examples and their approaches before deciding to adopt a different approach. It's probably not unique. The concepts of my solution are simple and someone's probably done it before, but this one is mine. I also enjoyed the iterative coding process. Building the initial basic functionality was very simple, but it started out as simple procedural code that I modified as I went until it became more modular, calling functions for operations rather than just a long block of sequentially executed code. It's been a while since I coded much, and that was a good refresher. And it's not finished. The project works, but it's bulky and has a few drawbacks. I'm sure I'll revisit it to miniaturize it, and the Wi-Fi and power issues are sitting in the back of my mind. I'm sure one day when I learn more, I'll come back and solve these issues. Could I have just bought a clock? Yes, if telling the time was the goal. But this project meant I got smarter, and I earned the satisfaction of seeing my creation come to life. And isn't that the real goal of hobby electronics? Anyway, that's my top 3 list of projects for 2025. Do you agree with my ranking? Do you want to see more in-depth videos on any of these projects? Or do you have suggestions for a good project I can try in 2026? Let me know in the comments below. And you should totally build an LED party strip for your place. Give it a go. While I'm not new to YouTube, this is a new channel, and I'm still feeling out the format and how the content's going to work. Now's the time to have your say and suggest ways you'd like to see the channel evolve. Thanks for watching, happy 2026, and I'll see you next time.